All right, we are talking about Quantum Leap, and Quantum Leap at NBC has been extended by 6 episodes, making the original 12 episode season and now whopping, and also not normal for this day and age, 18 episode season. And what a time to be alive, because we're experiencing the feeling of being wrong. And for the first time I can remember, being wrong has felt really good. Often when I'm wrong, it's because I lost a bet and it sucks, or something. But this, I was wrong about Quantum Leap. Leading up to this whole thing, we had this whole idea that it was going to be based on the track history of revival series and reboot series.
NBC.
And NBC. We were looking at Quantum Leap and we were saying, you know what, Quantum Leap, this revival, don't call it a reboot. Darn it. Please don't stop calling it a reboot. This revival, this continuation is going to be garbage. It's going to be super woke and have all these little problems, and the story is going to be sacrificed and so that they can preach some message, and they're going to dump on Quantum Leap, and everything pointed.
Scott Bakula.
And it was no Scott Bakula, and everything pointed to that. Even Scott Bakula sort of accidentally pointed to that. Everything looked that way. And then we watched the first episode, and we're like, it's good.
And this is why we watch it. Even if we're set, and here's what's great about Quantum Leap. Let's say even if we're like latched onto some sort of confirmation bias, like let's say we're looking for things wrong, which a lot of times when you think something's going to be bad, you're looking for things that are going to be bad, and that kind of sets you off. There was nothing. Like it came and it was like, this is not bad at all. Hold on, what's going on here?
Yeah, we were actually looking for problems. I remember I had my tablet out, and I was like, and I even saw potential problems coming up, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for them to do it.
Right, yeah, you just assumed it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and it's been great. So we are, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes in now. And to get this, now what that means is to go from 12 to 18 episodes when you've put out, I want to say it's 4, right?
4 episodes so far, yeah.
4 episodes. That's a big thing. That means that Peacock and NBC, Peacock Plus and NBC are getting good numbers for this show. And it was actually being reported that they were getting bad numbers. And then people were like really harping on the Rotten Tomatoes score. And I would like to tell you, if you're a fan of Quantum Leap and you're watching this video, please go if you like the Quantum Leap show, please go to Rotten Tomatoes and put your fan score in as being positive. Because right now it's sitting at, can you show what it is? It's like really bad.
Yeah, it's at a 50% critics and a 48% audience. And I got to tell you, this is so undeserving. Most of the reviews on the audience side is complaining about the lack of Scott Bakula. And I get it, it's disappointing that he's not in the show, but that is not a proper review. And as far as the critics go, I don't really care. The critics are almost never right. But the audience score, it deserves a better audience score. Look, guys, here's a perfect example. To everyone out there that complains about the critics always being wrong, you're agreeing with them.
Yeah, good point.
And that's what this is. Like, you're on the same page.
And I believe most of these, and I get it, most of these audience scores came in with no Scott Bakula, bad review. So I do believe that was probably, so that's a really good one. 3 hours ago. That's somebody who watched our show. What do you want to bet? I'm not sure why the show is getting bad reviews. I was a big fan of the original. And so far, after viewing the first episode, I am hooked. I truly hope it doesn't get canceled. And that's what's going to happen. If we don't get these numbers up, it's going to give them an excuse. Now, the good news is they're giving them 6 more episodes. Now, the reason why we believe that's happening is because earlier in Quantum Leap, Ian, the person who's doing like all the computer stuff, said that there was probably 10 to 20 leaps before Ben gets to the point where Janice and him are trying to get him to.
Right.
Which we believe is Sam. Now, 18 episodes and he said it was closer to 20 than 10.
Right, which is 18. Coincidentally the number 18.
Right, so 18 episodes is perfect to have of season 1 finale where they find Sam.
Right, and the fact that extra 6 episodes were ordered. First off,
After
guys, this is so unheard of. This doesn't happen. It's not
anymore. It used to.
It used to. But nowadays, it doesn't happen that you actually get that many episodes in a season period. And it really is super rare for in the middle of a series that's already been shot and edited for the studio to say, we need 6 more episodes. That means they got to go back to work. Like the job's already done.
And they got a plan. So they got to go back to work. 6 is a weird number. Like, even if you're going to give 6 more episodes, like you might just, there's a purpose behind this.
Yeah. What this is it's a soft season 2.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I guess so.
The studio is like, look, what are you guys going to, like, we see where you're going for season 1. We feel like this needs to wrap up in season 1 and they like it enough to order it. And it's probably going to be what they need. The reaction is probably going to be what they need to get a season 2 out of it. And you know what? If they ordered 6 more episodes, that means they got to shoot 6 more episodes. That means there's still a chance.
They got to work out whatever it takes to get Scott Bakula to come to the show, because he's not doing nothing. I guess his show didn't get picked up, right?
Yeah, his Yellowstone ripoff didn't get. Type show didn't get picked up.
Right. So
I'm being mean, but it was a Yellowstone type show.
It was a Yellowstone type show, and he's not really doing anything, and we don't know exactly what it is. NBC kind of pointed the finger at Bakula. Then Bakula's team was pointing the finger at NBC. Then Bakula basically put out an Instagram post that was like, I'm not doing the show. And he kind of put it on himself.
Yeah, he did.
And so now it's on him, because now Martin Gero, who executive produces the show, it was like, he can come back anytime he wants. So if Scott can come back anytime he wants, Scott, listen, I don't know, you watching the show, watch us. But listen, you need to come back. Okay, you need to come back and let them bring you home. Or if they don't bring you home, take us deeper into Quantum Leap somehow, and then you be a part of season 2.
Right.
You come back with Ben and leap around in season 2. Wouldn't it be cool to have 2 leapers?
That'd be super rad.
2 people leaping.
Imagine Ben was trying to sync his leap cycle or something. Like, dude, there's so many ways you could do this. Like,
well, yeah, exactly. Imagine like you had 2, like one leapt into one person and one leapt into another person. And in normal time, to everybody else around them, they're enemies. But yet, you know what I'm saying? They could have these really cool stories that happen.
They got to find each other.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
So much. Bacon Jr. said, this is setting up an epic story to tell. Yeah, and the crazy part is, from our perspective too, at least for mine, I'm looking at this being like, oh my God, imagine when we make a Quantum Leap history. When this is all over and we make the definitive history of Quantum Leap, this is going to be the greatest button to that story. Mm-hmm. It will be such an amazing button to make a definitive history out of. Great.
So this is just really good news. If you're watching this and you're like, Quantum Leap, what, they redid that show? Go check it out. I would argue that the leaping is not the best part of it to me. To me, the going to get Sam is the best part of it, and they're just getting warmed up with the leaps. But there's no wokeness here. There's no waste of acting. There's no waste of writing. Like, they're just doing everything really well. And I think this last episode, we did a review on it, which is going to come out right after the members. We did it for the members.
Yeah, that review is coming out today on the Unleashed channel. So right after this show.
So that you'll see that if you guys want to see the last episode. And if you're a member, you would have saw it yesterday.
Yeah. So members get all of our reviews the day after the show comes out. So for Quantum Leap, it would have been Tuesday morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll explore that, but this was definitely the best episode. And the next episode is awesome. They're going to the Old West. They're leaping way outside of Ben's lifetime, which means that the entire project is off the rails now at this point. And there's just a lot to explore. So this is exciting news for Quantum Leap fans. And there's nothing but good things that can come from this, in my opinion.
I like what Archmage says here. The revived series of Quantum Leap was terrible, but Sam leapt into the showrunner to set everything right.
You guys in these leaping stuff.
Oh, my God.
It's true. They'd still need to explain where the person is. Like, where's Ben's body?
You know what?
I still need that.
You know what the great thing about Quantum Leap is? Quantum Leap never had a chance to get to that. So it was made in this weird place between the super campy sci-fi and then the more thought out sci-fi. So it was made in between that time where they made very thought out, very heartfelt science fiction, but they didn't get to almost like they were sort of like the template for that style, because they didn't get to the point where they were making like meta commentary, like Stargate talking about itself when doing Wormhole Extreme, or even Battlestar Galactica talking about the old Battlestar Galactica as a TV show on the show. Like, we're going to get to the point with Quantum Leap, if it keeps going, where there'll be an episode where they leap into a showrunner of a series making a Quantum Leap style show. We will get that. It
would be cool if they did that. Yes, I agree. I mean, I should write that. I should write that. I don't know if they would allow people to submit it, but I could write that for Donald Belisario.
Honestly, you should write it and send it to Terry Metalis, who can get it to Donald Belisario.
Yeah, maybe. We'll look into that. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Shane might become a writer pretty soon.
I am already a writer. What are you talking about?
I mean, for like TV shows.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
He's being coy.
We have good theories.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sliders. It's funny. I remember watching Sliders and thinking, so I love Sliders, right? Because I saw that before I saw Quantum Leap. Years later, I watched a few episodes of Quantum Leap, but I didn't get into Quantum Leap until Shane actually got me into it. And I'm like, oh my God. So Sliders was like, if you had ADHD and you wanted to make a Quantum Leap show.
Sort of, yeah.
And I loved Sliders, but Sliders was sort of like, let's be a campier, more fast-paced version almost of Quantum Leap. It was like, oh, so this was like, that's why I like Sliders. It was made for me. It was made for me and my ADD riddled brain. And that's why I couldn't get into Quantum Leap until I was much older, and I didn't really understand the dramatic aspect of it, you know?
Yeah, Sliders had like no budget. It's amazing what they accomplished with no budget. I realized recently watching Sliders how little special effects are in that movie, but yet your imagination really like hones you in. Like almost all the scenes are like inside of a room or on a street or something like that. They're not really doing these big, huge production things. Like there's a few that do that.
The writing was so well done in those first seasons. Yeah.
When you write well, you don't need all that. So Quantum Leap's doing the same.
You know what that is? So when you're making when you see horror movies where like the characters are talking about the monster and never showing it to you, it's because they didn't have the budget for the monster.
Right, yeah.
And so the writing has to be so stellar and the acting has to be so stellar in order to sell you and get your imagination involved in the story. And Sliders did that often. Now they fell off. It got weird and dumb, as it went on, but it started off really strong. And the fact that you built an entire series around what's his name, Jerry McConnell, right?
Oh, Jerry, yeah.
Whatever his name is, the main character,
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell was not really right for that role.
But he worked.
It worked. It worked because the writing was good. But like, if you think about it, when you look at Jerry O'Connell, you go, yeah. That guy's an MIT graduate.
I mean, no, he had the look. It was okay.
No, he looked like a surfer from Pasadena, bro. Let's be real, okay? He looked like he might have lived in Pasadena, but instead of going to Caltech, he was surfing in Newport Beach on the weekends. That's what it looked like.
Maybe.
All right.
I believed it.
I still loved it.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at?
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the Jaws, like Jaws doesn't work without the writing, because back then it was practical effects. You couldn't show an actual shark. Like,
they did.
I mean, they did, but they didn't. They didn't show as much as they wanted to show. If there was 3D graphics back then, it would have been probably not as good.
And it might not be as good, right? Because we've seen Megalodon, the Meg,
right?
Yeah,
I like the Meg, by the way, but it's a bad movie. It's a bad movie, but I still liked it. You can like bad movies. You can be like, you know what? I was thoroughly entertained by this piece of garbage.
Yeah, I think I have a Jason Statham problem. I don't know, though.
You definitely have a Jason Statham problem.
I do. I think that's my problem.
You didn't like Hobbs and Shaw either.
I didn't see Hobbs and Shaw, and that's why I have a problem.
It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a good movie. Like
I just have a Jason Statham problem.
Every time someone goes, "Hey, you know what? The Rock makes everything good," I'm like, that's not true.
Hey, for those of you tuned in for Quantum Leap, we apologize.
Anyways, we're done. Quantum Leap got 6 more episodes.
What does Jason Statham have to do with Quantum Leap?
Sorry if you're tuning in right now. We got a little sidetracked. That's my bad. That's what we do that sometimes. We're like, I have ADD, and Shane is very nice and doesn't want to interrupt me sometimes.
That's good. I like that.
All right, guys, hit that subscribe button and go to the comment section. Let us know what you guys think about Quantum Leap. Have you hit that Rotten Tomatoes score, and have you added positively to it? Let us know. Yeah. We will include the link to the Rotten Tomatoes thing just for all you lazy people out there, so you can click it and go right there and review it. And I hope that we didn't make a mistake and there's like 18 people about to get a bad review.
Like, we'll show Quantum Leap what we're going to do.
We're going to show you right.
Yeah, we'll give you a review 1 star.
All right, guys, hit that button.